Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at crude oil futures. You can see in the overnight, crude made a pretty decent move to the downside. This is our 30-minute chart, just lower highs, lower lows. And then in the London session, you actually had this reversal doji, and that triggered back to the upside. And crude made a little pullback right in here. Ran up to the 13 EMA, found some resistance there, left a topping tail. The body of that bar was still buying, but did leave a topping tail. And then crude actually made a little break lower. You had a little support break right here at the bottom of these dojis and made a break lower. And then we left this big giant reversal doji, pushed way down, up, closed right in here. And then crude started working its way higher. And right in here, a little difficult to see, this is what we call a one red finger. And what's happening is crude was pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. These bars all moving up. Our histograms went green, another green histogram. And then right here, as crude pushed back down, we had one red histogram, a little tiny red histogram. But the sellers were not able to make any more progress, and the buyers stepped right back in, put in this big reversal bar, and left this green finger, and it started moving higher. Green histogram, we started moving higher off of that. Crude pushed higher, ran up into the 50 EMA. We know these are significant support and resistance. Found some resistance right there, but then triggered a bullish inflection, closed above resistance at the 50, closed above resistance at the 200, and is slowly trying to grind its way higher. You've actually triggered a 30-minute bull flag. We'll see if crude continues to run higher into the afternoon. But this one red finger reverse things, and crude made a pretty good climb off of that. This is what that looked like on our Renko chart. Gave us a couple trading opportunities off the Renko chart. Right in here was where we had that little support break first thing in the morning. We're able to actually catch a couple targets to the downside, a couple $100 per contract to the downside. You actually had what we call a momentum trend reversal breakout, because you can see you put in a higher low right here and then a higher high breaking above this previous high on momentum. And then you had this pivot right here. It wasn't a lower pivot low. Your previous pivot low was back here. Had a slightly lower pivot high right here and then broke to the downside. So as we were breaking support in crude, we were also triggering a momentum trend reversal breakout. And crude did make a nice little push off that. Like I said, you're able to grab a couple $100 per contract. And then right in here is where you put in that big giant doji, reversal doji right here. You pushed up and ended up closing right here. But that was that big giant reversal doji, leaving the one red finger on the 30-minute chart. And then crude kind of chopped around for a while. And then we set up these double power lines right here. So we were able to trade a resistance break to the upside right there in crude, and that was a nice push to the upside. Good for depending on how you traded it, but good for potential $400 per contract on the resistance break to the upside. And crude is still pushing higher. We've triggered that 30-minute bull flag, and it's trying to push higher off that, breaking above this little mini double top right here. So we'll see if crude continues to work its way higher. But a nice bullish setup off of one red finger on 30-minute chart in crude.